What's up everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John, it's time for another Top 10 Countdown. Today I'm going to be talking about the UK-based alternative band Florence and the Machine, and it's a top 10 that I'm very excited for, and hopefully you guys are excited too. Florence and the Machine are obviously led by Florence Welch, an extremely talented singer and also songwriter, but I've also learned to focus a whole lot more on the machine aspect, aka the backing band, as I listen through their entire discography in preparation for this video. There's so many nuances and details that go into the music, and it literally is a machine because there's so many instruments that go into making these songs either vibrant or dark or whatever the vibe is. As always, this is just my personal top 10 list, so keep that in mind while watching. If you would like to see honorable mentions, aka the songs that didn't quite make it to the top 10, those are in the description box down below. And if you enjoyed the video today, please drop a like on it. And if you like the channel and what I do here, consider supporting on Patreon at the top link down below. The cherry on the top of our list today at number 10 is Strangeness and Charm from 2011's Ceremonials. This is one of the first songs that Florence wrote for those sessions. She obviously co-wrote this with her producer, collaborator, longtime friend Paul Epworth, someone who I have to give a ton of kudos to just because of how involved he's been over the years. And this song really strikes me as a little bit odd, but also fascinating and oddly unique just because of Florence's vocal style and the way that she went about cultivating subject matter. This song at its core is about love, just like so many of Florence's songs are. But the striking difference here is the fact that this stemmed from a conversation with Florence's father where she talked about molecular things and beings and strangeness and charm and everything like that, the atoms, the molecules that make us up. And this song and the way that it spills out, it almost feels like a human being and emotions are being assembled right in front of your ears. And it moves at a rapid pace sometimes, but there's also a lot of detail that's going into things like the bass line and also the symphonic elements of the track. This is something that I've truly felt compelled by in the past 6 months especially, as I've come to appreciate Ceremonials so much more as an album.
And everything I ever did was just another way to scream your name.
Number 9, South London Forever from 2018's Highest Hope. This is a song that was released as a promotional single, I believe, and it's a track that just makes you feel like you've maybe been transported into like a Disney fairy tale, except things aren't exactly G-rated here all the time. Florence describes her youth primarily, that coming of age type time when you're going out partying and doing whatever else and just feeling alive, and that's exactly what South London Forever does for me, the listener, and I know it's done for many fans. This is one of those songs that truly does feel inspirational, as it starts off with kind of a nice little musical arrangement that's going on, and then Florence practically coos with her vocals, and then she gives us a very direct story that actually gets to a point. And I love the build here, the tempo change as she gets to the over and over and over again part, and then you get the sweeping symphonics. It's a little bit of everything, and it's just a very nice down-to-earth song. My number 8 selection is What the Water Gave Me from Ceremonials. This is a song that has an odd balance because half of it feels like a Florence and the Machine song, of course, but the other half, weighing it out over here, makes it feel like a praise and worship type song that you might hear in church. I say that because it has so much drama. There's a lot of suspense, a dramatic edge that this song keeps you hooked with. And I love that appeal. Of course, I myself grew up in church, and maybe that's why I'm hearing the similarities there, but you almost hear like this choir effect and the fact that it feels like you're chanting something, especially with Florence's bellowing vocals towards the end of the song. The ace up the sleeve for what the water gave me is the fact that this song keeps progressing and changing, adding and layering in new things as it goes on. It feels engaging for the roughly 5 minutes that it keeps going, never losing its charm or sense of appeal.
This is a gift. It comes with a price. Who is the lover man? Who is the lover? If one Midas is king and he owns me satisfied, it turns me to gold in the sunlight.
Number 7, Rabbit Heart, Raise It Up is a very, very special song. It's one that uses imagery that pulls from like olden times, perhaps a little bit of folklore, a little bit of other things like King Midas and the touch turning things to gold. It's something that's very remarkable because this was on the debut album Lungs, and this came out in 2009 at a time when Florence was still very young. She sees herself dealing with fame on this track, being thrust into a record label, a contract, into the spotlight, just blowing up on a huge level worldwide. They were getting recognition, and this song in particular stood out to me because it has such a different edge between its verses and then the chorus. The chorus is uber sticky and catchy, and the verses just feel really well written, but also like they have some sort of like choir effect. And apparently the producer and mixer for this track nearly lost his mind and had a breakdown because of how many layers Florence put on this track with her vocals.
And all my love and money, what was it that I said?
Am I losing touch, or is number 6 shipped to wreck? This is an amazing single from How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful that was released in 2015, a record that meant a lot to me just because it saw a lot of rock elements going into it, and Florence and the Machine pulled it off so well. This is one of the songs that I feel should have been an absolutely massive hit, and even though it did go over well with the alternative and rock crowds, it's a shame that it didn't cross over more to the mainstream. How much can I really add to the conversation with this one? It's obviously well loved by the fans and even a lot of people that are just music fans in general. It's a song that just has this sweeping feeling to it. It opens up the record, in fact, and you really just get hooked from the first few seconds and you can never look away. It's something with such a strong dynamic between its well-written verses and the hook and the bridge. Everything just feels so fascinating. In fact, the bridge might be the best part of the song.
I'm so heavy in your
A potentially unexpected guest makes its way into our number 5 spot with Heavy in Your Arms from Between Two Lungs, the re-release of Lungs and also from the Twilight soundtrack. Now, I know you might hear Twilight and go, that's a bad word in this household. I don't blame you for thinking that, but Twilight, they actually kind of killed it with their soundtracks. Some of you might know that I used to work at a movie theater. That was my first legit job that I ever had. And one of my tasks was to clean the movie theaters at the end of the night after the shows. I would go and sweep up, and this is one of the post-credit songs from Twilight. Now, at that time, I was obviously really just turned off by the fact that it was Twilight, but I really didn't know Florence and the Machine. And I heard this song, and even though I had previously heard Dog Days Are Over, this is the one that got me to check out more of their stuff. It has such a dark, brooding sensation, and Florence was so compelling vocally on here. She absolutely sells it to you with what she's feeling. She's talking about the weight of love.
what you need. Oh, you look so free. The way you use your body, baby. Come on and work it for me.
Landing at number 4 on our list of the top 10 Florence and the Machine songs is Hunger, the lead single from High as Hope. Hunger is the type of song that truly does not beat around the bush. It instantly lets you know what it's going to be discussing and how real it can be in places with the opening line. When I was 17, I started to starve myself. If that doesn't make you kind of take a step back and think, whoa, then I don't know what will. The best way I can describe the music and just the sensation that you get while playing this song is maybe that of letting a canary out of a cage. Finally letting yourself fly, spread your wings, that weight is off of you now and you can be free. This is an inspirational and motivational song that excels because it doesn't try too hard. It's extremely honest with what it wants to do, and the music is fantastic. And of course, when Florence is belting out "the way you move your body, baby," that line right there, every time, perfection. Vastly underrated alert. At number 3, we have Mother from How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful. Mother, of course, does not refer to Florence Welch's own mother, rather Mother Nature. She exclaims on the chorus of this one as it progresses. She says, "Mother, make me a tree, make me a bird so I can escape these situations." What I love most about this track, though, other than the amazing lyrics, especially that line about "make me a cloud so I can rain down with all of the things that I can't say," that is a genius line, one of the best lyrics that she has ever penned. But also musically, this song is so captivating. It starts off with an intro that almost reminds you of like the French band Air, something a little bit tropical. It almost belongs on like Moon Safari, but then it progresses into something so much more. And the outro of this track is just a big rock jam that has everything from bombastic drumming to sporadic guitars, some synth tones going in the background. It's all flying around in the perfect culmination, and it's the perfect closer for the standard edition. I almost said deluxe, the standard edition of How Big. We've almost made it to the top of the list, but first we have at number 2, the amazing song Shake It Out. Now, the best thing about Florence and the Machine is that quite often you feel some sort of emotion while listening to the music, but you often probably feel inspired. It's hard to put into words because if you're listening to it and you already know these songs, then you know exactly the feeling that I'm describing, but maybe if it's new to you or if you're not that familiar, it's an experience that you need to have for yourself. Shake It Out is something that blends these orchestral and almost Baroque pop leaning influences and then puts it together in like an alternative rock package that's easy to get into. It starts off like you're in like a gala or a chamber with the way that the first verse goes, and then it breaks out into this like danceable chant-along styled chorus, and it's all just euphoria.
No light in your bright blue eyes. I never knew daylight was so violent. A revelation in the light of day. You can't choose what stays and what fades away.
For as many sad undertones as there might be to my number 1 pick, I also just get this serotonin shot straight to the ear each time I play through. At number 1, we have No Light from Ceremonials, a song that moves me so much just because it, once again, is kind of sad, a little bit emotional for sure, because it feels like two lovers are distancing. No light in your bright blue eyes. I never knew daylight could be so violent is the chorus of this track. There's a lot packed into this one, especially the end of the song. I love the fact that it breaks down to just kind of a minimalistic thing where you're focusing on the almost choir effect that's being placed on Florence's voice, and she's talking about what you want. You want a revelation, you want a resolution, but I just can't make that happen, essentially. I can't bend until I break. And I think my favorite line from Florence's entire discography has to be, we can't choose what stays and what fades away. She says you there, but I apply it to we. You can't choose what stays and what fades away. That's it for this top 10. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me talk about my top 10 favorite Florence and the Machine songs. Let me know your thoughts on the list in the comment section down below, and feel free to leave your list down there as well. Let me know any other top 10s that you'd like to see me do in the future, and please drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Heyo, if you want to support me on Patreon, the link is right over here in this annotation in the corner of the screen, or click the top link down below. We've been having trouble with copyright related stuff lately on the YouTube channels because of YouTube's new system, so feel free to help out down below. Last top 10 here, another Florence and the Machine video right over here, and I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.